Good morning friends and welcome to Sharekhan pre-market roundup. It's a fresh week starts and we will possibly start on a flattish note on Nifty as indicated by SGX. SGX is right now around 6 points and most of the Asian markets are closed for Dragon holiday. If we look at the other global markets, firstly the Europe and the US on Friday, the European markets were trading mixed when we closed and also closed in mixed only. And the American markets, which were trading flattish when we closed on Dow futures and Nasdaq futures, ended up by around 0.4% on Dow and around 0.5% on S&P. Nasdaq also going up by around 20-25 points. Coming back to our markets, we had a buying of 2978 crores by FIs in cash market on Friday. This was mainly on the back of the 2000 crore rupees odd deal which happened in Kotak Bank. The promoter sold some stake to a foreign fund, and on the FNO front there was around 211 crore rupees of buying in index futures, whereas there was some negative figures again on stock futures, but that can be avoided as of now because it's just the beginning of the month and there was large buying that happened in the previous month of elections. So let's have an update now on derivatives.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. Extended their southward journey for second day in a row, Nifty entered the session slightly in a red with a marginal loss of 0.44%. Ahead of as market players remained on sidelines ahead of Q4 GDP data and central bank monetary policy review. In this period, we have seen that short positions were built up by market players as around 14.03 lakh shares were added in open interest and Nifty futures price decreased by approximately 30 rupees. Cost of carry also decreased by approximately 87% and Nifty futures premium decreased significantly from 30 points to 3.70 odd levels. On the PCR front, it is decreased marginally from 0.68 to 0.67, which is clearly indicating that call option has added more number of shares than put option. Call option has added around 40 lakh shares in open interest, whereas put option has added around 22 lakh shares in open interest, which is clearly visible in the options activity, as we have seen that 7,300, 7,400 has seen good activity in open interest front, but as of now 7,500 stands with highest number of shares in open interest. And on put option 7,200, 7,100 has seen good activity, but as of now 7,000 stands with 7,000 stands with highest number of shares in open interest. There is no security in bank period today, and FIs were net buyers of 211 crores in index futures, they were net buyers of 310 crores in index options, they were net sellers of 839 crores in stock futures, and they were net buyers of 71 crores in stock options. Our 5 days VWAP stands at 7285, lower range for the market would be 7200 and 7150 on lower side, and higher range would be 7285. 7285 might act as a stiff resistance for the market going forward. And Singapore Nifty is flat, it is 6 points up at 7232, and US markets closed marginally positive, and Nikkei is also trading positive. Other Asian markets are closed today, so we may see marginal positive opening in Nifty. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Now let's have a look at some of the actionable ideas for the day. OMCs, diesel price was hiked down 50 paisa a litre excluding state levies, the second increase in last 3 weeks time. Positive for BPCL and HPCL, go long on BPCL with a stop of 511 for target of 538 and 548. HPCL go long at the rate of 401, stop of 392 for a target of 413 and 421. Idea Cellular has decided to hike monthly rentals of its postpaid customers by around rupees 50 from June. Action to be taken here is long with stop at 135 for a target of 142 and 145. Very good open interest built up was also seen in very good open interest share was also seen in Idea Cellular on Friday, so that's an extra input on this stock. NMDC standalone adjusted net profit increased by around 31% YOY and 22% on QOQ basis to rupees 1917 crore with the net margin expansion of 360 bips on YOY basis. EBITDA margin grew by around 900 basis points YOY, leading to significant jump in EBITDA income by around 41% to rupees 2470 crore rupees. Action to be taken here is long with stop at 167 for target of 175 and 178. On the watch list front, 3 stocks on the positive side: HDFC Bank, Reliance Capital, Unitech. On the negative side, it is CSC. Now let's have a look at two-wheeler sales numbers for the day. Bajaj Auto 3,29,000 units, Hero MotoCorp 5,76,500 units, and TVS Motors 1,98,800 units. For most of the companies it is flattish, but for TVS Motors numbers should be expected on the better by around 4.3% month on month, and on YoY basis it will be better by 20.4%. For Bajaj it will be negative by 3% YoY, and for Hero MotoCorp it will be positive 3% YoY. We also have four-wheeler sales number coming out today. Tata Motors standalone sales of 34,650 units, down by around 30%. Maruti 86,400 units, up by around 2%. Ashok Leyland down by 17% at 6,010 units. And now on the news front, GDP for Q4 FY14 grew at around 4.6% versus 4.7%. The agricultural sector posted a strong growth of 6.3% versus 3.6% QoQ. The manufacturing sector also grew at around 1.4%, but that was negative minus 1.9 on QoQ basis. However, outlook for FY15 GDP growth is better. Consensus estimate of 5.5%, led by the revival in manufacturing sector, and also some reforms which can be taken by the new government. After reporting good set of numbers in Q4 FY14, L&T is looking to take both its IT arms public in 2016. Mr. A.M. Naik, who is the group chairman, has indicated that they are looking to list two firms, that is L&T Technology Services and L&T Infotech, from around July 2016. DLF sales booking has increased by around 7% last fiscal to rupees 4070 crore rupees, while its net debt fell by around 1400 crore rupees. With the help from disinvestments of non-core assets, DLF has planned to raise around 3,500 crore rupees this fiscal through issue of securities backed by commercial assets. That's all from our side for the day. Thanks, and have a nice trading session.